What's up, beauty lovers? Welcome back to another video where I spend my money on ridiculously expensive luxury beauty and I let you know what is actually worth it and what is just hype. And we are gonna kick things off with a product that I've gotten so many questions about from my subscribers. It is this palette right here from Tom Ford. This is the Black Diamond palette. This is a part of their Soleil Neige collection for 2024. They usually come out with this collection every single year, kind of around like winter, fall, holiday time. I'll show you guys some daylight close-ups and swatches of all the shades. We have four right here. The first one is going to be a really light pinky beige. Then we have a beautiful sparkly shimmer. Some would say a diamond-like shimmer. Then we have a soft brown. And then finally the deepest shade in the palette, which is going to be that beautiful eggplant purple. I'll show you guys the two looks that I created with this palette. The first one is the one that I have on my eyes today. This one is a little bit deeper and richer. First, I went into the nude shade and I just applied that all over the eye. I typically like to use this shade as sort of a base so that I have a nice smooth canvas for some of the deeper shades that are in this palette. It's also really, really good for blending, which is important when you're working with some of the deeper shades as well. After using that nude shade, I went in with the brown. I was really impressed with how kind of elegant and soft this shade is. I was thinking it would be a little bit maybe too deep for every day, but actually I think this is a really great everyday shade. I think this is the kind of thing that you can wear day to night. Then I dipped into the deepest shade in the palette. This is like that matte eggplant color, and this is the color that I use to just create a little bit more of like this smoky effect. I recommend using a denser pencil shape brush, anything that's a little bit more dense if you really want to build up this color, because it is a very powdery formula. We'll talk a little bit more about the formula in just a second, but I just built that up on the outer corner of the eye. And then once I had all those shades on, the final step was to go in with the diamond sparkle. I think that Black Diamond is the perfect name for this palette because this collection does have kind of like, you know, like a wintry sort of almost holiday theme, and you know, black diamond skiing, but you also have like this sparkly diamond shade. You guys get the point. I think it's clever. And for sure, it does have a really beautiful, finely milled sparkle. I would recommend applying this shade with either a flat brush or the little foam applicators that you get with the palette. Otherwise, it could get a little bit messy. Like, it's not chunky or anything. I just think that's gonna give you the most precision. I also think less is more when it comes to these sort of drier shimmers. And this is the final look that I created with the palette. Comment down below and let me know what you think. I did add 2 coats of black mascara and also just a little bit of my favorite deep purple eyeliner. I'll link the one down below that I like to use. It's from Chanel. I just wanted the look to have a little bit more depth at the lash line, and I couldn't really get that from that deep shade that's in the palette. I kind of feel like on camera, you can't really notice or appreciate the beauty of the shimmer shade. So I did try and go in direct sunlight and also in my closet where I just kind of shined a light on my face so you can kind of see that shimmer a little bit better. It is really, really beautiful in real life, but I feel like on camera, you just like can't really see it super well. Now, when I first took a look at this palette, I immediately thought, okay, that's gonna be more of like a smoky eye palette for me. But once I started playing around with the shades, I realized if you use a light hand, you definitely can make this more of an everyday neutral palette for yourself. So I wanted to create another look that was just a little bit softer that I'll show you guys right here. I used a lot more of that light matte just kind of all over the eye. And then I was very careful not to add too much of the 2 deepest shades that are in the palette. You can use this deep eggplant shade just a little bit in the crease or on like the very outer corner of the eye. And if you do that, it creates a very just kind of soft, elegant smoke that I feel like, you know, would be good for work or daytime. So just wanted to show you guys another example of a look you could create if you just use a little bit more of like a lighter hand. So all of that being said, do I like this palette? Do I think this palette is worth $100? Because yes, friends, they did increase the price from $90, already ridiculously expensive, to $100. I don't know if it's just this palette or if that's gonna be the new price. I wouldn't be surprised if they increase the price of all the palettes after holiday. I don't know, guys, but this palette right here is $100. And I do have some mixed feelings about it. So I'm gonna do my very best to describe the formula because I think that some people are gonna think, no, that's not worth it, and other people will probably really like this. So starting off with the color story, I think the color story is stunning. It's beautiful. It's so chic and sophisticated. That's what really drew me to this from the beginning. I just really like the balance of shades. I really like it when small palettes like this have a medium shade, a lighter shade to, you know, kind of lighten things up and blend things out, a deeper shade for depth, and then a sparkly shade to add, you know, a little bit of glitz and glamour. I do think that this brown shade kind of saves the palette for me a little bit, because a lot of you guys know I didn't like the metallic mauve palette. Some of the recent ones that came out lately just felt very dusty. I know I use that word a lot. It felt very dry and dusty to me. This brown shade right here, it's that really nice, like silky, satiny type of formula that we've seen in some of the other palettes from the past year or so. I really like that shade. I think it's super beautiful and easy to work with. The rest of the shades here are that kind of drier formula. If you liked the metallic mauve, no problem, because it's the same thing. Some people really like how powdery it is. I don't really care when it comes to this shade, because I sort of like how finely milled it is. It helps blend out the other shades. It's more of a base. I can't really see it that much on my skin tone, so it doesn't really matter. Where it kind of annoys me is with this shade. It's a really, really beautiful tone, but I do have trouble building the color up, and then sometimes it's like a little bit patchy depending on how much I have on my brush. I'll show you guys right here a demonstration of how much you pick up when you have it on the brush, and then you can see me tapping the brush and you can see just how much product floats away. And then I show you the brush again and it's almost like there's barely any product left. So it's a little bit difficult to work with. Sometimes I feel like I apply too much, and then other times I feel like I'm blending and it just blends away. Now, if you're somebody who is really subtle and doesn't use a lot of the darker shades, if you're creating very soft looks, you might like that, because you might like how airy and how much it doesn't build up. You might actually really like that. But if you're looking to create smokier looks, if you're looking to kind of wing it out a bit or use it as a liner, I don't think you're gonna be super impressed with the formula. When I first used this, I was making my look a little bit more graphic, and I just felt like it took me a very long time to create the look, get it even, and not have it be patchy. To be honest with you guys, I think if you like this type of formula, I would say if you like more of a cool tone color story, go for that new Makeup by Mario palette. I don't really care for the formula, but when I was using this, I was thinking to myself, you know what? The mattes in here are kind of similar to the formula that was in that Makeup by Mario Ethereal palette, which the new version is out. We've already talked about it in another video, but I feel like the formula is kind of similar. And same thing with this sparkle shade. The sparkle shades that are in the Makeup by Mario are kind of like, they're almost exact to this. It's not really anything super groundbreaking. And for that reason, friends, I'm gonna say that it's not worth the $100. I like the looks that I create with it. I think it's a really beautiful palette. It's one of the Tom Ford palettes that I've liked more so within the past year, but is it worth $100? I don't think so. I would rather get one of the Hermes palettes if I'm trying to think of something that's like of equal price. Very nice color story, you know, love the layout, but like the formula is just not doing it for me. Now let's talk about the new Hermes Beauty eyeliners. I have 3 different shades to show you guys, and I've been testing these out for maybe like 2 weeks at this point. So I feel like I have a really good idea of how they apply, how they perform, how they last, all that good stuff. But first up, let me quickly show you the 3 beautiful shades that I picked out. I really like all the shades that I bought. The first one is number 74 Bronze. It's called Bronze, but it's more of like a shimmering olive green. I love this color. You guys know in general, I love olive green. This is such a beautiful color for brown eyes. If you want something that is a neutral, but still a little bit different, like if you already have a regular gold or bronze eyeliner, this is one that I would definitely recommend. The second one that I picked up is this one, number 88 Rouge Soleil. This is not a brown and not quite a burgundy. It's in between. It's not so red that it's gonna make your eyes look sore. It is a gorgeous warm tone brown. I do not have another brown like this in my collection. And this is the one that I have been wearing the most just because it pairs with so many looks. This one actually goes really, really well with two of my favorite palettes of the season, the Prada Holiday Palette and the Hermes Fall Palette. It is a beautiful, beautiful neutral. And then the last one that I got is number 95 Bleu Nuit. And this is a gorgeous, sparkling navy blue. This one also has just a little bit of shimmer to it. If you typically use a black eyeliner, this is kind of like a fun alternative if you're trying to mix it up a little bit. Maybe try a navy blue. Once again, I think this shade goes really, really nicely with brown eyes. The formula of these is a little bit drier, but it's still very soft. I never have any problems with it sort of tugging the skin on my eye. I feel like they apply really easily, but they're not gonna be as creamy and emollient as like the Victoria Beckham ones. They smudge just as much, but instead of it being like a creamy smudge, it's more of like a drier, powdery type of smudge. I haven't had any issues with them. I think that because they are that drier formula, they do give a little bit more of a softer look. It's not going to be super one swipe pigmented. Like I could kind of build it up a little bit and then soften it up with the little smudgy that they have on the other side. I do appreciate that. I feel like it's really easy to create a nice soft everyday wing. And you know what, even though it's not one of those really heavy duty waterproof formulas like the Chanel Yo Waterproof, which is actually what I have on my eyes today, I love those for longevity. Even though it's not those super heavy duty ones, I do feel like they last very long. I've worn these so many times where I've gone out, had like, you know, a full day, and then I'll hop on my Peloton and I get off the Peloton and the eyeliner is still on. Sometimes with those really heavy duty waterproof eyeliners, they are a little harder to apply. You know, they're hard to sort of drag across the eye line, but I put up with it because they're so long lasting. If you don't really like that experience, I would go for something like creamier or maybe more powdery and blendy like these. Overall, I think that they are really, really nice eyeliners. Do I think that they are worth $50 each? No, I don't think that they're worth $50 each. I think if they were like $40, something like that, I'd be like, okay, $40, but they don't even come with a sharpener. Come on, Hermes, come on, $50 and no sharpener? I just feel like that's ridiculous. They don't blow me away to the point where I need to collect them all. If I were to go into the Hermes boutique and I just happen to be there and I find a shade that's really unique and beautiful, maybe I'll pick up another one. I'm really happy with the ones that I got. Like, I've been enjoying them, but they're just so expensive. They're not the kind of thing that I'm gonna say, oh, you need to get this. Now, if they go on sale, which these themselves won't be discounted, but a lot of the department stores have tiered discounts, and that's how you get Hermes on sale. I'm gonna show you guys all the tips when Black Friday comes around. You can get a deal on Hermes Beauty. If you can get a good 25% off, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, pick one up, but make sure you choose a color that's a little bit more unique. The color selection is insane. That's one of the best things about this line from Hermes. They really know how to do colors, and the colors are just absolutely stunning. So if there's a color there that you think, you know, I can't find that anywhere else, then I would say go for it, because I do really like the formula. If you don't care about super interesting colors and you just want a really good, high quality, basic eyeliner that is very, very creamy when it goes on, but then once it dries, it has a lot of really nice longevity, I do have two recommendations for you guys. The first one is this right here from Sweed. I talked about this in a recent video. They have really good eyeliners and lip liners. Once again, very creamy, but then once it dries down, so much good longevity. So if you have, you know, maybe some transferring or smudging or oily eyelids, anything like that, definitely check these out. I'll link them down below. My coupon code will be down there also. And then the other formula, which is basically the same as the Sweed. So if you're choosing between these, maybe just go off of like the color or the price point. The other brand is SOFIASEESQM. They make really good eyeliners as well. And their eyeliners are kind of cool because they're dual ended. So this one has like an amethyst and then a kind of rose quartz on this side. So you sort of get a little bit of a 2-for-1. It takes me a long time to get through an entire eyeliner. So it's kind of nice to have two here. Most of them have like a deeper color and then a highlighter color. And they're so, so good. And then I wanted to show this to you guys because I just got this one. They have lip liners like this as well, and the lip liners are in that same amazing formula. So this is my favorite one. It has a red on one side and then a nude lip liner on the other. They are so, so good. So that's why it's hard for me to recommend the Hermes ones. You know, it's kind of like the Tom Ford lip liners. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, I like it, but it's just so expensive that I can't really justify buying more. Hopefully that makes sense. Comment down below and let me know what you think. And then finally, I wanted to share with you guys my thoughts on the new Celine lipstick. I was able to get my hands on one of these babies. I pre-ordered this from the boutique in Boston when I was visiting the other week. And whoo, guys, these are luxurious. So when you open up the box, hopefully you can see this, it comes in this beautiful little velvet pouch and it has the little Celine Triomphe logo on it right there. Take a look at this absolutely stunning component. It feels very luxe, very weighty, but not like too heavy. It says Celine Paris around the center there, and then you have the beautiful Triomphe logo there on the top. It does have a magnetic closure, and these are refillable. So if you just pop it out like that, you can refill it with another shade. They only have one shade at the moment. I'll show it to you right here. It is this beautiful, delicious, saturated, true red. Take a look at this color, guys. I absolutely love it. I mean, it's a red. I know it's not groundbreaking, but it is a really pretty red, okay? I'm not going to deny. If you don't really wear red lipsticks all that much, which I totally get, it's not really like an everyday thing for me either. Just wait, because they are gonna be launching the full shade range in January. I guess they probably rushed this so that they can make some holiday sales, because this does make a really good gift. And then they are gonna be coming out with like the nudes and the pinks and the mauves later on, which I'm guessing they're just like still under production because these are still new. Just kind of keep that in mind. Don't waste your money if like you don't wear red lipstick, or if you do, you can buy it and then in the future you could just buy, you know, like the refill of your nude and then you can swap it out. The formula of this is really, really nice. It is very saturated and pigmented, but also incredibly hydrating. It's not a matte, but it's also not a satin. It's like a very luxurious, rich, hydrating cream. And I love the way that it grips the lips. I like these a little bit more than the new Tom Ford ones. Those are also really expensive, but I feel like I get a lot more longevity from this formula. I'm actually really excited to see the other shades that come out. I'm definitely gonna be buying, you know, like a nude or whatever. This retails for $75 if I remember correctly. I was checking the Celine website because they are on the website right now and it said $75. Is it worth $75? You know, you're paying $75 because it's Celine. But I will say there's nothing about the lipstick that disappoints. Like the packaging is really beautiful. The little velvet pouch is really nicely done. I think the component is super glamorous, very classy and luxurious, and the formula is top notch. It's really, really good. I mean, it's a lipstick. There's other good, more affordable lipsticks out there. I've already mentioned to you guys like the Makeup by Mario ones. That would probably be the closest in formula if I had to think of something a little bit more affordable that is similar to this one from Celine. But if you're looking for something really luxe, really bougie, and you want to feel special, you want to treat yourself, I really recommend these, at least this one shade that I got. I'm definitely going to consider this as like a gift for friends and family in the future. Maybe I'll wait until the other shades come out because I don't know how many of my family members are gonna wear a bright red, but as soon as the other colors come out, I feel like that's gonna be like a go-to gift for me. And that is it. That is all of the ridiculously expensive luxury makeup that I bought recently and my completely honest thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And more importantly, leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you've tried any of these. I would love to hear your thoughts. You know, we all have different preferences in makeup, so leave me a comment down below letting me know what you think. Subscribe if you haven't already. I upload new videos just like this one every single week. And with that, friends, I hope that you see some beauty in your day, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.